Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. I am so excited to see so many of you here tonight. We are in Florida. I want to share all about the journey, all about the challenges, all about the everything that was going on, including a blowout. We'll deal with more of that in a minute. With that said, first off, thank you, Aya. Thank you, Anne, for running everything behind the scenes. And thank you to Mary Fryer, who has put together a showing of Bill Bennett's film, Facing Fear, which I am featured in along with other luminaries such as Dr. Joe Disparra and Spenza, Bruce Lipton, Sister Jenna, Judith Richards, and so many more. It is very special showing that will be on February the 18th here in St. Augustine, 2 p.m. at the local college. Mary will put up links here. I will put up links here as well. So if you're in the Florida, Georgia, South Carolina area, would love to see you there. That's this coming Saturday. With that said, I want to talk with you about, how do I put this? I want to talk with you about the dirty words coming out of your mind and how to stop them. So we went, and I love to teach or share via story because I find that we learn best sort of like around the campfire with the elders. And my wife, my baby Hannah, my rooster, Rue, the three kitties, Lumi, Sir Meowsers, and the love bug, and myself, we headed down via RV, kind of what we were calling the escape from New Jersey, down to Florida. In fact, last week we were trying to put up a show called Escape from Jersey. But so much has transpired that we weren't even able to do that. In fact, I've been writing daily woohoos. If you go to dailywoohoo.com, I was doing my best to keep that as a daily blog of our journey with attunements, energetic frequency or vibrational attunements that bring your frequency up through the spoken word, through the written word. I was trying to write these for everybody during the journey, but it got to be too much. So what we're going to talk about tonight is what to do when your mind starts to go wiggly worm on you and starts to, kick you in the butt is perhaps the kindest way to put it. So we are going to talk about that. And I'm going to share all of the triggers that I experienced on this journey as well. So the question becomes, and usually I have notes. Tonight I have no notes because we got into this home basically yesterday. And we just got the studio set up here. And we are in St. Augustine. Well, we got the studio set up now. We are in St. Augustine on an island. I forget the name of the island that we're on, where I have the Atlantic across the street in front of me. And I want to say the Pacific. I have the Intercoastal River behind the house with a dock going out right to the water. In fact, I have, if you click the join link down below, I have our backstage pass where I put out videos. Right now, it's been multiple times a day. And I have pictures of me or video of me in my frog suit going out to the Intercoastal to go swimming there this evening to check out the water. How does it get any better than this? And it's like a 300-yard dock. It's like something right out of the movies, all lit the whole way, that goes out to a little, what they call boathouse. It's a lift for bringing a boat up. And there's a staircase to go down and get into the water. How does it get any better than this? All right. How far back do I go is the question. And what I'm hearing is, let's go to the mind, and where the mind starts to go crazy or started to go crazy on me. And the mind started to go crazy on me after okay. Forgive me. The timeline may be a little bit confused because it's hard to know what took place when at this point. But a couple weeks ago, we were getting ready for this journey, and I heard a noise. We have this amazing, it is still amazing. It's a top of the line RV, although it was rushed and put together, slapped together, I think with, I don't know, duct tape and baling wire. I heard some noises the RV is an accordion. It slides out and gets wider when you're parked and slides in and gets narrower when you drive. On a week ago Monday, I slid it in and I heard a funny noise. And so that Tuesday, I drove almost a couple hundred miles down to the RV dealership next state away and had them look at it. They didn't find anything wrong with it. So I brought it back, loaded up the RV. We ran into some AV challenges. I was on the phone with not just tech support, but the regional rep for these RVs and was troubleshooting what was going on. And I actually did some wiring and crimping and other stuff that I shocked myself being able to do, which is actually the first place. The mind, when we ran into electrical challenges or it's AV challenges, basically the smart board on the computer wasn't speaking or wasn't communicating with the app or communicating well, so you couldn't control things properly. My normal mindset would have been to say, I can't do it. There's no way. It's overwhelming. That's just not possible. I don't know what I'm doing. And we're going to talk about one simple technique. People here like Celestiana are saying, just missing Rue. Rue is off to my side right now. I haven't put him to bed yet, but I need to go out and get a Rue seat for him so that he can sit next to me during the show. So I am missing Rue too. And I hope to have him back for our next show or hope to have him back for class. Amanda is hearing him off to the side. He is going, he's not actually making his tired sounds tonight. He got, we've been to the Vegas Strip. Florida is now his 20th state he's been to. Well, actually, I guess if I count the states that we just drove through, he may have been to 24 or 25 states, if we can count that. Holy smokes. But he's been on the Las Vegas Strip. Well, today he got into the main drag in St. Augustine, and there are hundreds of people all around, and he was a rock star, and he handled it well. He handled it like a champ. At first, he was going, I'm not sure because I haven't been around this many people in a very long time. And then he's like, hey, wait a second. They're all looking at me. I'm so proud. Life is good. It was really, really cool. So your mind, my mind, want to go looking for reasons to pick on ourselves. It's been ingrained into us by the tribe. Why? You could even say by the matrix, the big bad matrix, which is actually just a teaching tool in disguise, I might add. We're trained by the tribe to follow the party line, to do as the party says, to, I know that sounds political, to longest nail gets hammered down, to do exactly as everyone else does for the safety of the tribe. And we're taught not to screw up, mess up, or blow it, not blow up, oh boy, because the tribe's safety is in danger as well. This leads to some very serious internal conflicts where we cannot win. Why? Because life is dirty, life is messy, life is what we call in science an N of 1, meaning there has never been a you before, and you are the experiment. So it's an N, a number of participants of 1, which means stuff, that's the technical term, is going to go down. So I go to crimp all the cables. I get this stuff working. I'm so proud of myself. I didn't pick on myself and say there's no way you can do it, even though it was way outside of my wheelhouse. So proud of myself. Spoke to the rep on the phone. Last question I had for him, and I'm going, yeah, this is good. I'm like, how will the RV handle the cold, the Arctic oscillation that's coming our way? Not a problem. You'll be fine. All right, cool. Thank you. Just thinking ahead. Yes, good. The Arctic air front comes, it passes. We're packed up even through the cold. Wanted to get out ahead of it. Couldn't pull it off. Mind wanted to go crazy. Told it, no, it's okay. I like to say, if you remember this one thing, take this one thing away, then you've done well. And then I realized I say it's this one thing, and then it's this next one thing, and then it's this next one thing. Yes, Brenda, lots of shift or stuff. So the first one thing is to remember there's a wounded inner child inside of you that has been torn apart by trying to uphold the tribe, has been torn apart by being told you need to do it this way when you know you need to do it that way. You've got to please them, but you've got to please them. And you get ripped in two, and your inner child is wounded, to say the least. All of us, nobody escaped childhood intact. We'll do the best we can with baby Hannah. However, as Don Miguel Ruiz said on the show, author of Four Agreements, said many days ago, along with his son, Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. said it too. Either you domesticate your children or somebody else will, meaning there is always going to be an internal tribe, and until humanity raises it to the next level, there will be internal conflicts. Cancel, clear, release. I'd like to see that gone now. My mind is definitely wired for those conflicts. Those grooves are deep. They're deep inside of you too, for safety. Safety grooves, yes, Amanda, are very difficult to erase. Why? Because if you have a safety groove, if you remember that the tiger was dangerous, you get to come home, tell others about it, and your tribe lives. If you said, I sat with the tiger and the tiger didn't eat me, and I smiled at the tiger, and I've done this sort of thing. I've had a powwow, so to speak. Hopefully that's not impolite to say or not non-PC. I don't mean it that way, but I had a meeting of the minds with a mountain lion in California years ago. We're standing about 100 feet apart looking at each other, and I'm going mountain lion. He's going human, and I got between mountain lion and Din Din, and he's looking at me, or she's looking at me going, And I'm looking at it going, I'm sending love. If I get home and I tell people what I did, then that gets repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated. And hopefully it was good advice. If I just sat there with the lion and I come back and I say, oh, just be with the lion, be peaceful, be love. And somebody then gets munched because that advice didn't work. Well, that advice is not carried forward. This is important. We are hardwired for danger. And so, in a sense, we're hardwired to rip ourselves apart. That inner voice in your head takes no prisoners. It ain't polite. It ain't kind. It is the judge. It is the jury. It is the executioner. And it is just waiting for you to mess up. Yolanda, thank you so much for your kind donation. I love you, Yolanda. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? You're in my thoughts often as well. Sending so much love and big hugs your way. So, the RV will be fine in the cold. Okay, cool. So pack everything up. We get all set to go. We have arranged to pick up a U-Haul trailer to carry the Tesla. And it's hurried, it's fast, it's rushed. We're doing too much in too little time trying to make it, because I had spent a full day away at the RV dealership getting things straightened out, because that was a good 7 or 8 hours of driving, and this and that and the other, and it was much tighter than I'd like, and I don't like to rush. But here we were. And so we get ready to go pick up the U-Haul. I press the button, you can see it coming, press the button to bring in one slide out, one piece of the accordion in. Comes in fine. Press the button for the next piece of the slide out. It comes in fine. Press the button for the, the main slide on the RV wouldn't come in. It was stuck. And speaking with customer service, no success. Speaking with techs, no success. Speaking with that, no success. This, no success. We were stuck in New Jersey for 4 days until it couldn't be repaired, but it was disconnected. And with a few dear friends of mine, thank you, Joe. And oh my gosh, my names are all... thank you, Mitch. Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Mitch. With their assistance, we were able to push this in and get me to the dealership. where I spent, I think, 2 days. Oh, I drove to the dealership, planning on staying there. So here's what's going on. First off, my mind wanted to say, "You knew better than waiting for the cold, and it broke. It's your fault." And wanted to kick me, wanted to punish me. Let's be honest, our minds really want to destroy ourselves because they want to teach us the error of our ways. Between you and me, I used to be, I'm a mild-mannered guy now. I'm a pretty loving, kind guy to myself now. That's this, it's okay. And that was number one thing tonight. It's okay. Going to your inner child. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That was not my default mode about 10, 15 years ago. My default mode was, geez, can I actually say it? Amanda's saying her mind is quite sweet now. Yay. Wow. I can remember. See, I go to say these things and I go, I wonder if everybody's going to drop off of YouTube. And I'm like about to cry. One of the scariest moments I ever had with Jessica. We were trying to get out the book, Barefoot Running. We were behind schedule. I don't remember how it all went down. I remember being in an intersection. Jessica's trying to calm me down as I'm driving. And I said, it was like a line out of Ghostbusters. There is no Dana, only Zool. I'm like, there is no Michael. And I think I got to a parking space or something. And I put my hand into a fist and I'm going, stupid ass mother, bleep. And I'm just beating on myself. Yes, we had a lot of emotion code work and then my own technique for clearing work to do on Jessica after that. I was in such a rage to myself from that voice in my mind saying, you're a screw up, you're a loser, you've blown it again. And honestly, there was even a line inside of me that said, talk about craziness. And this comes from the tribe. You don't deserve to live. You don't deserve to live. What the? What the? It's not yours. It's not mine. You don't deserve to live. Well, first off, that's bullshit. That's complete and total bullshit. You have every right to be here as much, if not more, than anyone else. This is your special existence. This is your opportunity to shine, especially if that's just on the inside. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to change anything. Just be you, whatever that means. I didn't get it at the time. I didn't have that it's okay-edness. RV slide won't go in. We're stuck in town. We can't get out. I knew there was a problem. Heck, the first time I went there, it was because I heard a noise and thought there was a problem with the slide out and went and checked and they said nothing's wrong with it and came back going, okay, maybe that was silly. And then it broke 2 days later, but I knew that there was cold coming in. So my mind is going, well, if you knew, why didn't you do anything about it? Why did you stay here? Why did you? It's okay. Now let's go forward a little bit. And I'm going to give you a very powerful technique in just a little bit. And I'm not trying to belabor it. We got the RV back down there. It's a whole challenge because first off, we thought we were going to drive there and be able to camp there. And then they said no animals allowed on the vehicle. Then I drove. So I had to unpack. I packed everything up, had to unpack, put stuff back in the house, put our kitties back in the house. And if you have kitties and they don't like to travel, they like once they're on the RV, but don't like getting into a vehicle. You know how challenging it is to get kitties on and get kitties off. I had to unpack everything, got down to Pennsylvania, and they said, you need to leave it here. And then I got to go back home. Such an opportunity to kick myself. But I loved myself up, and I got home, and the next day, and there were a whole bunch of miracles. I'm just going into the challenges of the mind here. A whole bunch of miracles came together. We were able to pick up, and Petra, thank you so much for your kind donation. How does it get any better than this? It's Petra Sophia. How does it get any better than this? Send you so much love. The next day, we were able to head out. Woohoo! Yay, 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 yay. And my mind is going, you're not going to be able to get on the road. Jessica's got to watch after the baby. Look at all the stuff that has to be done. Here you are again. I'm going to, it's okay. And I've started at this point loving myself up. I love this. The way is going supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes, that's basically what I was doing. I was doing myself. I was going to a place of love. The more that crap came up that said, you're not going to be able to do this, I didn't feed that monster. Instead, I fed the love monster. And fed the love monster with everything I've got. Because if I'm going, and my default mode is to look at this and go, oh my God, how am I going to repack all this? How am I going to get this in? What am I going to do with this? Because we're using the RV as both an RV and as a moving truck, carrying kind of our whole lives down to Florida. And so it's this giant game of Tetris. But we got out. We got on the road. How does it get any better than this? We go to get to the U-Haul place to pick up the U-Haul. And we have to turn at the exact exit and the exact road that I got hit by a car, an SUV, and almost killed on my bicycle last year. It took me within a mile of where I got hit by the SUV. Broken pelvis, shattered wrist, ribs, clavicle, minor TBI, you name it. Minor. My mind wanted to go. And I'm noticing the cosmic setup. I'm noticing that I'm being put in places for the mind to go wild so that I can love myself up even further. I get to the U-Haul place. I get near the U-Haul place. The GPS can't find it. I ended up driving past it. Amanda, oh my God, thank you for your kind donation, Amanda. You guys are awesome. How does it get any better than this? Michael, perfect. So glad you made it safe and sound. Thanks for the beautiful videos today. Woohoo! So yeah, we've been posting a bunch on the Backstage Pass, that link, that join link down below. I end up going past the U-Haul place, and it says it's going to be another 7 miles in rush hour traffic to get back to it. And I have this brilliant idea that I think I can make it through a shopping center and pull back out onto the road. I won't do that again with this RV. I made it in. I couldn't make it out. And I had to back out, be super careful, really scared. I'm by myself. Jessica's in the car. She went to visit her family because it was right down that road with baby Hannah. And my mind wants to go crazy. I get to the U-Haul place eventually, thankfully. Jessica's there kind of waving me down, helping me get in. And did you bring this part? No, I wasn't told to bring that part. Well, did you bring this part? No, I wasn't told I needed this too. U-Haul didn't tell me all these things I needed. All I did was keep going to love. Each thing that went wrong, I went to love. And I recognized too, because this gentleman had to stay at the U-Haul place over an hour past closing to help us, that if I stayed in a higher vibrational frequency, he was much more likely to hang in there with us than if I went to a low one. Last thing we had is the car didn't fit on the trailer properly. We had to get really creative and figure out how to back it onto the trailer to find a way to coax it into place where it would fit and wouldn't hurt the car. We did it. We stayed at a higher vibrational place. Then Jessica and I went to get dinner, or I walked to get dinner to an Indian restaurant 2 doors down. When everything in my being is screaming at me, we need to go, but I needed food. And there at this Indian restaurant, they basically spoke no English. Amazing food, amazing people. And I'm going, I don't have the blood sugar. I don't have the time. I don't have the this. And I said, universe, if you want me to be here, there's going to have to be somebody that says, oh, I'll figure this out for you. And that somebody, the head cook, stepped forward and helped me with it. The mind wanted to go crazy, and the mind actually wants to go so crazy, it wants to hurt you. Why does the mind want to hurt you? It wants to keep you small and keep you in control. And we can't let it, because no good comes of it. When your mind goes crazy, you get to recognize it, you get to breathe into it, and you get to stop whatever the hell you're doing. In my case, I went to Pookie. She doesn't even know I went to her. I'm in the Indian restaurant. She just walked past me. I'm in the Indian restaurant. I can't figure out what to order. They're speaking to me in these amazing words of incredible foods, but it's in Indian, and I don't understand any of it. Mary, oh my God. Thank you. Beyond thank you, Mary. Thank you for being so real and raw with her heart. You've given me strength to try this event, face my fear of failure, stay at a high rate, place. I can't even speak. Mary, you rock. And I had a feeling, Mary, that your volunteering to do this was going to turn you into a rock star. It was one of those events, this movie showing coming up, that I haven't had any bandwidth to do anything about. And I had a feeling you'd take the reins. And as you found, I have no bandwidth for it. And you took the reins and shined. You didn't let the voices get to you, Mary. You didn't let the voices. In my case, in the Indian place, particularly when I don't have any food in me, which used to have me melting down, and restaurants were the trigger of all triggers. The Taco Bell meltdown I had in like 2000 was epic. But I pictured Jessica next to me walking me through this, and I walked myself through it. Walk yourself through these experiences. Be super kind and gentle with yourself. And I came back with some incredible food. Only regret was that we didn't buy even more of it, because then we got on the road and it was a very long, arduous drive. That night, I didn't stop till 1 or 2 in the morning because I wanted to get us out of New Jersey. We had felt stuck there. There is no such thing, but we felt stuck. I wanted to get us out. I did. I got us into Virginia. How does it get any better than this? Actually, no, I got us to Maryland. Next morning, I start the drive. And my goal was to avoid the major cities during rush hour traffic. And this was a Friday morning. And I get past DC before big rush hour traffic. I'm so proud of myself. And I'm driving along, and a woman comes up next to me in a pickup truck. I guess there are 2 people in the pickup truck, a couple, presumably. And the woman is going like this. And I don't think it's a smile. She's going. And I'm like, what does that mean? And Jessica's like, well, could that have been something positive? Could that have been? And I'm like, I think I need to pull over right away. I think I need to pull over this minute. And as I'm starting to pull over, and this is I-95, just about rush hour time, and I'm trying to pull over the vehicle, and cars are flying by. Somebody else comes honking at me. And so I pull off the vehicle quickly. I try to find a way to get into the median so that nobody's going to hit us. My mind starts flashing to stories of people who've been killed in the median before, or killed on the side of the road. And I get out and I look, and we have a blown tire on the U-Haul. And I get back inside, and I'm like, do I call the police? Do I do this? Do I do that? And the mind again wants to freak out. It wants to go to a worst case scenario. It wants to play out all of the worst possibilities, and it wants to tell you what you've done wrong. Michael, you must have gone too fast. You must have hit the wrong bump. You must have this. You must have that. There is a core at the center of your being. Lately, there's been a lot of talk in the scientific community about signs that the core on the Earth, the molten iron core, has stopped spinning in one direction and is actually starting to spin in the other. And I definitely wonder what that does, because we're magnetic beings and energetic beings, what that does to us. It's kind of wild. But there is this core at the center of us. You can call it like a central sun located in our center. In Chinese terms, it's the Dantian. If we plug into this core, and that can be literally imagining that you are taking a cable, and plugging into that core, or you're taking a fishing line and locking into that core. You can ground and anchor yourself and keep from spinning out. This is so important to understand. I had to pull into the center of the highway. There were at least 10 lanes. 4 over there, 4 there, 11 or 12 lanes. I had to pull in safely because my family's life is on the line. It sounds like an exaggeration, but it is. And then I had to make decisions very prudently. Is this a safe spot? Do I try to limp on down the road with the hazards on? I got to tell you, when I went out and looked at the blowout, there's smoke coming off of the wheel because there is no more tire. So there was a couple who started a forest fire in a national forest in Idaho, I believe it was, years ago, because they couldn't see. Their trailer was tire blew out and was Rue has just jumped up on a coffee table. He's trying for a breakout. I may bring him over to say hi in a minute and then have him go to bed. But I had sparks coming off this thing. It could have started a fire. They did start a fire, or I could have had the car catch on fire, and thankfully I caught it. So we get roadside assistance out, and roadside assistance is incredibly fast. I joked to the gentleman who had his life on the line, and so I was being extra kind to him, that he should work at NASCAR and go, whoo, 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 and change wheels. He did it so quickly, got us back on the road. Turns out Bill Bennett was having a showing with Sister Jenna that evening in Virginia. Thought maybe we were in Virginia and had a blowout for that reason. But first, what I did is, the mind's going crazy. So I said, I'm going to pull off at the next rest area, specifically for my mind. This is something we all get to do. So we've got, it's okay. If we're taking notes, we've got, it's okay. That's number 1. Loving yourself up. That's number 2. Plugging into the core. That's number 3. And plugging into the core, that's a real biggie. That's something we're going to be diving into even more in Wednesday's School of Mystics. Do come join us 4 Wednesdays a month, School of Mystics. Let's make you the mystic you were always meant to be, which is what you are at the end of the day. So number 4, though, number 4 is space. Give yourself a moment to breathe without engaging those thoughts. I want to go to a gas station and I just want to almost smolder and cry and just be for a minute. And that's what I did. I keep looking at Rue, making his jailbreak here. I drove to the jailbreak in loose terms, gas station, got there. Jessica's right more than me. I got to be honest with you. She had said when I was off the side of the highway, she said, are the bikes okay? And I'm like, yeah, they're fine. Because I was focused on the wheel and I didn't go back to the bikes, and because I just hopped out, saw the wheel smoking, hopped back in, called roadside assistance. Well, when the U-Haul tire blew, it slammed, this is my guess, so I wasn't back there to check it out. It slammed the vehicle down, and the bicycles were on the back of the car, but the car was faced the other direction. So the bicycles are up in the front of the trailer where all the trailer hardware is. And the trailer, the hitch, the bikes, and the road all mated as one. So, one, my wheels at a minimum will need to be replaced. Wheels, shifters, levers, brake levers, and a bunch of other parts will need to be replaced on my bicycle. My racing bike for the World Championships, that was in the RV, thankfully. But this was my favorite bike of all time up till now, and it was somewhat road mangled. It also mated then with Jessica's bike, which we have to see. I'm guessing it's just big scratches in her beautiful bike of the same nature. And so it's probably fine. I don't know for sure. And then it bent either the bumper or the frame. I'm hoping the bumper. I think it's just the bumper of the car, and yanked it and bent it backwards and broke the bike rack in the process. I don't know about you, but when stuff like that happens, I often pick on myself. What could I have done differently? How could I have prevented it? When we got the U-Haul figured out, the gentleman couldn't get the wiring to work right. And so we could either wait till the next day or go with things as is. And so my mind is going, well, maybe if you waited till the next day, I'm not sure how we would have done that, and then gotten a different trailer, this wouldn't have happened. The mind wants to go crazy. What did I do? Anchor into my core. What else? I said, well, Sister Jenna and Bill are having this event. Maybe we're supposed to go to this event. And so I needed to get a new bike rack. I put one of the bikes in the RV, the other one, a gentleman, a volunteer, showed up and helped me tie it to the back of the vehicle. Oh my God, Brenda, 11111. How does it get any better than this? Thank you so much. Thank you, Brenda. And yes, we were seeing that. I saw 1111 the day before we left and that morning so much that I felt we're on track no matter what. No matter what. Well, I guess we're supposed to be at this event with Bill and Sister Jenna. I just need to get a new rack. Call up bike shops. Call up REI. REI goes, oh, we've got that, and it's close to Sister Jenna's place. Cool, we'll do that. We turned the vehicle around and started driving back to DC. Get to an REI to find the rack we needed wasn't there. And then call where Sister Jenna is and find out the event is not there. It's actually in DC. Point being, on the day we were supposed to be driving well into Florida, I did a 5 or 6 hour delay. Hello, all happens for a reason. Before getting us in rush hour DC traffic heading back south, because there was no way we could pull into DC with our RV at rush hour for a movie showing. Talk about an opportunity to kick myself, but no, I didn't. I plugged into the core. I plugged into that molten center, the center of the earth located inside of each and every one of ourselves. And I stayed calm and I stayed cool. And I said, all good. I have no idea why it's like 6, 7 o'clock at night now. And I'm still in PM. And I'm still in Virginia. But all is good. And I took my time heading on down the road and heading to Florida. Now, here's the last bit. And then we're going to open it up to some questions here. I don't know about you. Oh, I do know about you, I'm guessing. We have wounds inside of us, you and I. Some of my wounds include screwing up, messing up, making bad decisions. Others involve which is it must be a past life thing, homelessness, um, a fear of losing my home, a fear of not having a home. I can remember melting down when Jessica and I were on our first book tour and we got to Albuquerque and we had no place to stay for a night and I fell apart. And here we are driving through Virginia, driving on down, and I'm noticing all of these different triggers coming up inside of me. All of these triggers that are, so Elizabeth here just said, had to pause to cry because you feel it. I'm with you. And thank you for that loving connection. It was all welling up inside of me, all of these past wounds, wanting to do, dun, 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 wanting to take charge of Michael. And particularly, I'm now driving at 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, safely so. I had plenty of adrenaline to keep me going, and I was doing it taking my time. Taking my time meant cruise control was set at, I think, 66 for almost all of the way. At one point, cruise control went to 68, I think. No, 69. No, there was one point it hit 71. But for the most part, it was at 66. And it's the middle of the night. Jessica's sleeping. Everybody's sleeping. And my ego wants to tell me just what it thinks of me. But it was actually really cool. My ego didn't read me the riot act. It was really cool. I plugged in and held on to that core with everything I've got. I warmed myself up. I sent myself love. And I thought, and to the words of Suzanne Giesman, who I got to meet in person, we've been dear friends for many, many, many years, but we finally got to meet in person, her and her amazing husband, Ty, at a Mexican food restaurant right on the Georgia-South Carolina border. So cool. She loves to say, isn't that interesting? Well, I looked at each, I want to say festering wound, there's a term I don't use, at each festering wound that bubbled up. And so many bubbled up on this trip. But I was plugged into the core. And I was like, ha. Here's another one saying, you're not worthy. Ha. Here's another one saying, you're not good enough. Ha. Oh, yeah. Here was the biggie. We had the bike. And so we couldn't get the rack. So we had the one gentleman who, it was so cool. He had just sold a truck. He had these bungee cords and straps that he didn't know what to do with. He wanted them to go good home. And he helped me strap Jessica's bike to the back of the vehicle so it would stay in place, or onto the damaged rack to stay in place, of which it had snapped the pin that holds it in place to where I couldn't get it off and couldn't get another one in. So I was checking it often. And then the other bike we had in the middle of the RV, which meant this beautiful RV, which that was another trigger. Like I said, it was slapped together too fast. And this top of the line RV, I had so many repairs done on the cabinetry. This sounds trite, but it's not. So many repairs done on the cabinetry when they did the slide outs, and then they were breaking on me during the drive. Most expensive thing I've ever bought beside a house, and it's breaking on me during the drive. And my mind wants to go, oh, you screwed that up. You just broke that cabinet. You broke this. You just broke that. So a trigger is breaking things. A big trigger for me is clutter. And between you and me, I'm not the most organized, but boy, do I want to be. And so clutter drives me batty. And I see clutter comes from my parents, comes from their parents, comes from their parents, as a sign of irresponsibility. I'm in a clutter-filled RV with things breaking on me left and right. And my mind is wanting to tell me just what kind of a person I am, which is a pretty cool person. But that's not what it was trying to say. And so in the middle of the night as we're driving along, I'm looking at each one of these trucking wounds, there to use DNA's term, in a different way, DNA. I'm looking at each one of these trucking wounds and focusing on it and holding on to the core and sending it love and sending it more love. This was a healing journey. This was a cathartic journey. It was a mess. It was ugly. Yes, Tawanda, it was freaking crazy in this thing. It was stuck and no place to move. And where'd the trash bag? And where did the paper towels go? And how do I even get to the back? And I can't remember where anything is because there's so much clutter and everything has an energy. If there's clutter all around you, you can't think. But each one of these things that bubbled up, I loved up. Every single one that bubbled up, I loved up. Now, is there any other part of the story I want to share? I'm just picturing us honking the horn as we crossed into Florida. Caught that on video. We can look at life. Messy, ugly, dirty, disorganized, chaotic, crazy, clutter-filled, all of it. We can look at life, and I know my ego wants to do so and say, you're not living a pro existence. I was a pro athlete, a pro this, a pro that. Who do you think you are, Michael? You're not doing the best you can. You don't deserve to be here. No. Or you can look at life and go, wild, amazing, crazy, incredible. It's sort of like, I think I may have shared this last week, or I definitely shared it with a class, so please forgive me. It was just too funny. Coming back from the RV dealership, they downgraded my vehicle. Actually, I had a choice of a very upgraded gas guzzler or a downgraded vehicle to the one car that out of all the cars I've ever rented, I like driving the least because it handles very poorly. And I consider it one of the very few very unsafe vehicles on the road because of its handling. And I used to drive on the racetrack and stuff. So I understand a little bit about the handling of cars. Not that much, but a little bit. And that was the car that they downgraded me to. What did I say? How does it get any better than this? I love it. And I meant it. And that was the car that I was downgraded to for a reason. It was the universe that specifically was letting me know, we've got your back. We want you to laugh. We want you to play. We want you to cry. We want you to be okay with all of this. The universe does have a sense of humor. I call it a coyote sense of humor. And I had a coyote hybrid for over 17 years. I love you, pumpkin. And I love you, pumpkin. And two other coyote hybrids, her brothers, for almost 7 years. It's trickster energy. Not trying to trick you, but playing with you. You can recognize it when the universe is playing with you. Yes, you can also give it the monodigital response. And actually, I think we were welcome to Florida that way. We were definitely welcome to St. Augustine. I think we got off the highway and somebody immediately welcomed us with this finger right here, which was their way of saying, hi, it's so good to meet you. It's so glad that you're here. And then somebody else also used their device at their center of their wheel to welcome us as well. How does it get any better than this? We can look at it as big, bad, ugly, messy, terrible. And yes, I am a very conscientious driver. Or we can love ourselves up with all of this. We can attach to that core, the center of our beingness. And yeah, I was I got to Florida and I'm getting this. And then I'm going through rush hour traffic from Jacksonville through St. Augustine. And Jessica saw today as we drove back through there, what I was driving through with this beautiful behemoth of a vehicle. And between you and me, moving to a new place often freaks me out. That's part of my wounding. Are we going to be okay? Are we going to be safe? Is everything going to be all right? Am I going to like the place? We've traveled a bunch. The trigger's still there. We can look at it as an ugly, awful mess. Or we can just love ourselves up. And yes, Angelisa, we can love up the very, very kind person who was welcoming me and didn't even have the energy to wave the entire hand, could only get up that one finger. We can love that person up as well. Ground in, ground in, ground in. And Amanda, put your question down. I'll do my best to get to that one. I know we've got a bunch of great questions here tonight. So I want to open it up to questions now. I want to challenge you, though. It's okay. Love yourself up. Plug into that source, that core that's deep inside of you. Recognize your wounds and say, isn't that interesting? And look at it. And then come right back to the core. And do not feed the, I hear Rue eating. Don't feed the cookie monster inside of you. Don't feed the rage monster. The rage monster ain't you. So Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body. I would say it's, if we call it a pain body, and I love Eckhart's work, the pain body isn't even your pain body. It's the pain body of all of humanity. It ain't ours. That cookie monster isn't even ours. Why the hell are we going to feed it then? Don't feed the bears. Well, it's a whole long story, but don't feed the bears and don't feed the animals. Yes, I went out onto the deck when we had a bear on our deck in Colorado because the bear was going to eat the plants or something. And Jessica said, I've had enough. And I went outside and found myself talking to this bear. I really don't know what I was thinking, but it worked. I think she caught it on video. I caught it on video. One of us caught it on video, and the bear ran off. We bring love to this. We bring love to ourselves. We bring love to our core. We anchor in at the core. We understand we're perfect, infallible beings in all of our fallibility. I don't even know if that's a word. We're gonna mess up. We're an N of one. Unless you've been to Florida before, unless you've been on this road before, unless you've had this exact slide out before, unless you've been in this exact situation, unless you've had this very exact breath before, I can promise you, stuff or shift is going to go down. Tribe has taught you to pick on yourself. I want you to love yourself instead. And it doesn't have to go, well, I can't get to love. I get it. You may have heard the story before, and if it's your first time here, you're going to probably think I'm loco. I am. We all are. Another thing I can remember. If I have the circumstance, the exact detail or timeline down correct, I remember being at my girlfriend. It was my girlfriend in my house. All her money, so when she cheated on me, it wasn't my house anymore. And thankfully, I hadn't sold my house yet. Story for another day. I went home after watching this PBS special with Wayne Dyer, and I went to the mirror in my house, and I said, this is back when the wounds were doing quite the dance. I said, I love myself. Probably heard this, so if you've been here before, you've heard this. Darth Vader would have been proud of me that day. Siths would have been proud of me that day. Yoda, maybe not so much so. I said I love myself while looking in the mirror. That's graduate level work. I'm not saying to just say I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Plug into the core. Let the core love you up. What's the core? It's the center of the earth. It's the center of the sun. It's the center of the source, the universe, the everything. Let the everything love you up. Don't worry about loving yourself up. It's okay. You can send yourself love. But to say, I love myself in front of a mirror, I grabbed the shower curtain ring rod. I had a nice one. I had a nice shower curtain too. I wielded that thing like Darth Vader. I took it to the bathroom mirror, to the bathroom furniture, snapped it in two, and just kept beating and breaking on things because I was so pissed off with myself. I was so angry and disappointed with myself. It's that voice. that said, you're not enough, you can't be enough, you won't be enough, you're a screw up, you're a mess up. That was a very rough day. Next time I tried, it was with my dad had visited town. Oh, I love him so much. And he gifted me with this beautiful new microwave. And I took that microwave and I had some beautiful checkerboard flooring in the kitchen. And I slammed it. It was the thing I loved the most. So I slammed it down in the ground the most to show me how bad of a person I was. And I'll show you for loving yourself. Good news. I upgraded and redid the bathroom. Sold that house a long time ago. I get updates on Zillow every now and again, and all my updates are still there. I repainted the kitchen, new flooring, that's still there. How does it get any better than this? That's graduate level work. Plug into the core. So somebody was saying, finally been able to do mirror work this year. Yeah, Celestiana, it's hard. Let's just plug into the core after tonight, or look at things and understand the setup, understand how interesting it is, understand that it's the tribe or the messages of the tribe that are tearing you apart. You can't please two taskmasters, but we've been taught to do just that since birth. That's why life is so difficult. Life is going to be challenging, sure, but it's the internal voice, that damn mother. It's that voice that gets us. I love you, voice. I love you. I mean it. I do. It's okay. Makes me want to cry. It's okay. What a better way to go on this journey. To love that voice up. Just plug into the core and say, you take this. I've had enough today. I've had a blowout. I spent the entire day touring Virginia and getting nowhere. My car is busted up. The bikes are busted up. But it's all good. It's all perfect. So, I want to open up to questions. Here we are in Florida. How does it get any better than this? We got the movie showing coming up this week. I got out for a swim. I got out for a little bike ride. We're getting the house in order. It is beautiful. It's just love. It's just love. And I've watched that voice come up since I've gotten here. And I've gone to the core, and I've gone to the core, and I've gone to the core. And guess what? The center of the earth, the center of the universe, the center of everything, the center of the central sun. You plug into that, you are unshakable like mountain. No matter what silliness comes your way. And I promise you, a lot of silliness will. And that's okay too. I was even, and I'm going, well, it's the law of attraction. What you think about, you bring about. I was even having a talk with myself as we were racing to get this set up beforehand. And I know that when I race to get a studio set up, boo-boos happen. And I know we've got to change some chords and some other things here. And I knew that there was a chance of a camera going down or a mic going down. And so I had a talk with myself saying, it's okay. It's okay, dear one. It's not even me. It's my higher self speaking. It's okay, dear one. No matter what happens tonight, it's okay. Be all right with that. DNA got an oracle card yesterday. That was her central sun. There you go. Love the synchronicities. All right. Let's open it up to some questions here. And thank you, Ian. Thank you, Anne. We're going to keep this a little bit on the short side here tonight. So I'm going to take a few questions. We're going to dive into a brief meditation and then get myself some rest. And I hear Rue, and I'm debating whether he needs to go to sleep now. I think so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Rue take a cameo with you. And then I'm going to have Rue go to sleep, and I'm going to answer some of your questions here. So thank you for your patience. He's only about 20 feet off to my left. So hold on one brief second. And we are, yes, Amanda, going to get a woohoo for the Rue, who is now feeling like the rock star of St. Augustine. Hold on here. You ready for bedtime, Rue? Are you good boy? Yeah. Oh, good boy. Oh, you're so good. You're so good. You're such a good boy. 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 Oh, you are. Oh, you are. You are such. I can't see the camera fully, so there you are. You're such a good boy. 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 I know. Let's get you to sleep. This when he's awake. That's up high. Now it's Betty bye time. You ready, Roo? All right. You said good night to everybody? Yeah? I know. Let's get you to bed. Okay, good boy? I know. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. He really enjoyed the RV. In fact, if I have my phone around, I can show you a picture. I'll see if I can grab that in a second. I want to show you what he looked like on the RV. He loved it. All right, let's get him to bed. Okay, Roo? Yeah? Do you have anything else you want to share with people? Okay. Be right back. Boy, Ruth. Thanks. Can I show him the picture with all of us there? Snake? Maybe the snake picture? Okay. We're going to do a brief show and tell. Let's open it up to some questions. First off, da, 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 da. Let's see here. Oh, that's me going swimming tonight. That's the sunset behind our house. There it is too. Whee. Da, 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 da. Hold on here. That's Rue on her hike. But there was, okay, if it's on this phone, we were out at, I don't see it here. It may have been in Jessica's phone. No, I think it was this phone. All right. Must be this phone. How about the squirrel picture? Well, people are asking about Southern Comfort. Oh, there it is. So, people have been asking, thank you, if Southern Comfort would be coming back on the show. And we found Southern Comfort. And he's alive and well and will be back on the show. Thank you, Mary. And then this is Rue's first time tonight with giant snakes. I don't know if you can see that. That's like the snake man of St. Augustine. And then what was that picture that I was trying to show? Oh, maybe that's good right there. Oh, the picture of Rue on his roost in the RV. That's the last one that I want to show, and then we're going to open it up to Q&A. Oh, I think that might be, is it your phone that he's on the roost? No, I mean, that's cool. I can share that one. But him and his perch. What is his perch? I mean, with his feet over the edge. Oh. But I could show that one. But I want to show them just how he took ownership. Yeah. So the reason we got this RV is it's a trunk at the front of it. And it, at the top of the truck has a second level, which is Rue's perch. And there is Rue on his perch there at the top of the truck and loving it. All right. I see a whole bunch of people have dropped off, so we better get into questions here. Lost like a quarter or a third of the people here. So thank you for hanging in there, though. Let's go to some questions here, shall we? All right. Let's see here. Questions from Renegade Jane. I need to know how to stop the voice of guilt and remorse in my head more than anything. I struggle with hard anxiety and it comes out as anger many times, and I beat myself up for a while afterwards. The best I can say, Renegade Jane, guilt, remorse, shame, blame, these all come from the tribe. They all come from the tribe as a way of controlling ourselves and keeping us from getting out of line. They're not us. In fact, guilt, shame, remorse, regret, all of these things, there is no good ever that can come out of this energy. Ever, 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 ever. You can never guilt yourself into being a better person. You can never shame yourself enough to being a better person. You can never kick yourself enough to be a better person. Why? Well, the reason I have so much job security, is a funny way to put it, doing what I do, is I'm playing an energetic game. This is an attunement. You feel better after this. And it's not just because I'm a goofy guy with a rooster, which is pretty cool, or have a really cool baby, but you may have one too. Um, but it's the energy that I bring. You have that same energy inside of you, Renegade Jane. You have it in spades. We all do. Life is an energetic game. The energy of guilt and shame and blame and all of these things and regret is a lower vibration that only serves to suck us down into a black hole. The energy of, for me, it's woohooedness. It can be whatever it is, whatever feels best to you. An energy of latching into the core, of bringing yourself up. Now that can transform your situation. Nobody has ever guilted and blamed or shamed themselves into being a better person. Nobody has ever kicked themselves enough to being a better person. Go to the gym. Go lift weights. Lift some big weights. Call yourself a blankety blank and see how much weight you can lift. And then send yourself love or kindness or call yourself a good person and see how much weight you can lift. It's the whole concept behind muscle testing. The body knows the score. You get stronger when it's loving thoughts. You get weaker when it's pissed off mofo thoughts. So what we do is we get that voice coming up and we go, I'm feeding that cookie monster. Not a chance. Nothing good can come of this. Anchor into the core. Let the core hold you in place. You've got the fear, worry, and anxiety in you because you're being ripped apart, Renegade Jane, because you're told you're not a good person. Who are you told you're not a good person by? By you. By you, you're told you're not a good person, but you're not a good person, Jane. You're a great person. You're the best person. You're the most amazing person. This whole existence is built around you. That's why you're seeing me. Whole existence is built around this person and built around that person and built around me too. You're the most important person in the world to you. Period. Done deal. End of story. Treat yourself like you're incredible. And know it's all a cosmic setup. All a setup. Why am I spending so much time on your question, Renegade Jane? Well, first off, to help you and send you as much love as I can. Because we're one. We're brothers and sisters in this. We are one. But also because I know that it's a setup, that if I answer this question for you, I answer this question for this person, for that person, for you, for everyone. It's all a cosmic setup. So everything that's coming up, everything that we think we've screwed up, we've blown, we've ruined, we this, we that, we've blown up, it was a setup to help you to heal, to help you to grow. Oh, there's a gentleman. I saw his name and put it back in my wallet. I haven't called him. I'm not sure if he's still alive. He was 85 when I met him. He'd had cancer repeatedly. This was many years ago when we were in New Jersey. So 7, 8 years ago. Should mean he'd be 92, 93. He's a many times survivor of cancer. All he wanted to talk about was how He cheated on his wife once years earlier, and the girl he cheated on with committed suicide. And I felt for him, and he couldn't let that go. And so what he was doing, and the reason he kept getting cancer, is he was busy killing himself to make amends for her killing herself. Make amends is such a Judeo-Christian, and I'm not picking on modern religion, but is such an Old Testament, old way of being. A father knows best that gets no one anywhere. And the energetic game has nothing to do with make amends. You want to make amends? Send love to yourself first. Make some donations, help some people, do some good, raise your vibration, bring some smiles, bring some love, but don't pick on yourself. Not for another second, not for another minute, Renegade Jane. You're not allowed to pick on yourself. You're not allowed. It violates the whole rule. If you want to say Judeo-Christian, that God made us in the image of God, well, then picking on ourselves is picking on God. Now, since we are all God, we are all the divine, why in the heck would we pick on the divine? So you're not allowed to pick on yourself. But here's the last bit for Renegade Jane and for everyone. We end up picking on ourselves for picking on ourselves. How's that for craziness? We pick on ourselves for picking on ourselves and pick on ourselves for picking on ourselves for picking on ourselves. We'll go and watch this, or you'll watch a Dr. Joe or a Bruce or Sister Jenna or whomever, or Dalai Lama. He was the first one who got a book on happiness, and he goes, why is everybody on the West so miserable after reading my book? They're picking on themselves for not being able to hold up to that